Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It is match day and what a game, because this evening in l'Olimpico, Roma versus Juve. It will be the 178th time that we play against the team of La Capitale d'Italia. In Serie A, we already won 85 times. Let's try to do it 86 this evening. It is crucial, it is important, especially if we are looking at the results of yesterday that could potentially mean something for Juve in the future. Let's see. We will also speak about tactics, what are the weaknesses of Roma, what are their strongest points, and of course we'll speak about the duel, Dybala and maybe even Pogba on the field a bit later, predicted lineups, and all these informations. A lot of things to discuss today. Please put a maximum of like if you didn't yet, do it. Maximum of like, subscribe to the channel if you didn't yet, if you want to be part of that community. We go now with Gazzetta dello Sport, who is speaking about Uruguay Milan. What does that mean? Well, disaster for Europe. Why? Because yesterday they lost 2-1 versus Fiorentina. 2-1 with the latest goal of Theo Hernandez. That was a banger, but unfortunately gave them 0 points. Unfortunately for them, good for Juve in a way, because winning this evening versus Roma, versus the boys of Mourinho, well, we go at -9 of top 4. -9 of top 4. Still with a -15 points of Juve that will be decided if we will receive them back, yes or no, in 60 days. 60 days from the appeal. What does that mean for people that are asking? Because a lot of time people are saying, Beppe, when will that be decided? Well, we will have to wait until May, towards the end of Serie A. So what will we focus on now is on the field, trying to make as much as points as possible so that we have 0 regrets. Atalanta yesterday, also another one that can potentially enter that top 4 race. Well, yesterday they did 0-0 versus Udinese. Let's go to the players that were called up. Well, the good news is that we have a lot of names in that squad list. The bad news is that some players that were not predicted to be absent are absent. We are speaking about De Sciglio. Am I surprised? No. Guys, we can't be surprised about De Sciglio's absent. Why? Because if you are going to transfer market and you need just a quick research to see his injury list, well, he is probably the most injury-prone player of Juventus. De Sciglio will not be there. Is it a big loss? In a way, no, because De Sciglio is not a phenomenon. Even if he was the last one that decided that the remontada 4-3, what a goal, an important one, he will be absent. Is he a phenomenon? No. Will he be missed today? Probably yes, in a way. Why? Because we know that Cuadrado is not at 100%. And we see game in, game out that rotation between De Sciglio, Cuadrado. We start with one when the energy is out, they are subbed out, and you have the other ones. Something that this evening will absolutely not be possible. On the other side, am I surprised to see Barrenechea? Well, in a way, yes. His performance in the Derby della Mole was great, and he deserves to be there today. He deserves to be called up more and more with the first team, but I'm still surprised, because if you are looking at the list of our midfielders, excluding the wingers, you still have 7 midfielders: Locatelli, Pogba, Miretti, Rabiot, Paredes, Fagioli, and now Barrenechea. 7 midfielders for 2 or 3 spots in the starting lineups. That's really a lot. What does that mean? Is Paredes the last option and he's obliged to be called up, but he will never see the field anymore? Is it because Barrenechea in the game but also in training is really impressing Max Allegri and is climbing that position to be in that top 5 midfielders that can play? Miretti, far from starting, can be, but Barrenechea is good to see him there. On the other side, what are we happy about the squad list? Well, that we have a lot of players like Chiesa, like Pogba, that will not start today, but good to see them for the second game in a row in that squad list. Who is missing? Well, Caio Jorge, that is absolutely not ready, and Milik, that will be there after the international break. Corriere dello Sport is not speaking that much about Juve. They are focusing about Roma. We know it. It's a paper that is focusing on Napoli and Roma Lazio. Well, they are going with Mourinho la spunta. What does that mean? Mourinho is winning the first round. Which round? Because the game has not been played yet. Well, there is winning the fact that he will be there on the bench. You know that after the last game they played, I believe it was versus Cremonese, where they lost Roma away from home, well, he was suspended. He received a red card. He couldn't be there today. After a few days, yesterday the news came out that Mourinho received the agreement to be on the bench today. Does that mean that the red card suspension was cancelled? No. They just said, and who was it? Kine, the same that investigated and accused Juventus. He said, well, we have not enough information. We need a bit more time to be sure what happened in Cremonese. So let him be on the bench. We park it a bit there and then we will decide a bit later. It's strange, you know? The two different versions. For Juventus, everything has to be in a rush. Correct or not correct, the decision, we don't care. Give them already the minus 15 points and we will decide later. For Roma, let him be on the bench and we will take the time to investigate. Guys, really strange. In a way, strange. In another way, I actually don't care. I told you, for me, Mourinho on the bench or not on the bench, I'm even more happy that he's there on the bench. Why? Because it's always a bit of folklore, we have to say. With Mourinho, you never know what can happen there. And he's putting so many pressure and tension on this player that sometimes it can be even an advantage. Attenzione, I'm not saying that he's a bad coach. Hey, look at the CV. 26 trophies already won in his career. That are a lot. We are speaking about some Champions League, some titles in every league that he played. Fantastic. Fantastic for Mourinho if you're looking at the result. The behavior of the man, not that great. On the other side, we have another winning coach. That is Max Allegri with his 13 trophies. Then we go to another news, another duel. Paul Pogba against Paulo Dybala. Paulo Dybala will be a starter of this game. Paul Pogba will not start the game, but maybe they can see each other or play against each other in second half. The last time that they played with each other was the last time in Juventus in 2016, where they played a final versus Milan and they won that trophy, Coppa Italia. Well, after so many times they will play together. Pogba will not only play against his best friend, because Dybala is a really great friend of Paul Pogba, but he will play maybe against his worst enemy. We are speaking about Mourinho. To remember what happened at Manchester United with Mourinho being the cause of Pogba entering in depression. Well, this evening Pogba will try to show Mourinho how wrong he was, and that will be great because that would benefit Juventus. Going to the starting 11, or at least the one that were predicted in the two papers, in Tuttosport and Gazzetta dello Sport. They are speaking about that 3-5-1-1, 3-5-2, however you want to call it, with Szczesny into the goal, the three Brazilian ones in the back, Cuadrado, because there is no other choice instead of De Sciglio, Kostic on the left. The three midfielders are Locatelli, that is back after his suspension in the Derby della Mole, Rabiot, Fagioli. Then on top you have Di Maria and Dusan Vlahovic. My only doubt is maybe seeing Federico Chiesa instead of Di Maria. Di Maria entering in the second half also to keep his energy level super high for the Coppa of Europa League versus Freiburg. That's the only doubt I have. Otherwise, all the papers agree that Di Maria will start. Going to the tactics really fast, what do we have to pay attention to? Well, Roma in the last 4 games in their home, they didn't concede any goal. They had 4 wins. If you're looking at the results in their home, well, they are in the top 3 best team in Europe in conceding least goal, because they conceded only 5. And you can see it with the tactics, with a team that is really working with a big block, and they are concentrating all their energies in the back, paying attention with the defense, but also with the midfielders that are helping, like players like Matic and Cristante. So they have a fortress there, and it's really difficult to penetrate into their box. That will be something that Juventus, they will need some patience to understand how to penetrate and entering the box to try to score a goal. What is weakness of Roma is the way that they are pressing, because they want to press, but not always they are really effective, and they don't have a really great productivity in their pressing. You see here in that image, it's a team that is going, but is a bit shy. So if Juventus is able to call them up, keeping the ball, and saying to Roma, come up, well, they go with a lot of players without giving a maximum of pressure, and you can go in counter-attack. So that can be a weak point of Roma, a key moment of the game. We know it, one of their strongest points is Dybala, with already 8 goals and 6 assists in Serie A. We know his position of the field. We know everything about Paulo Dybala. Do we need to say more about it? Absolutely not, because Dybala is Dybala. So pay attention to him. On the other side, and that's a bad news for Juventus, Spinazzola, that had really a lot of difficulties in the beginning of the season. He is back and he's showing also how important he is. When Spinazzola is in top form, well, he's an important player for Roma. And on that left side, pay attention to Spinazzola. On the right side, to Paulo Dybala. We finish with the last one with Tuttosport. We're saying il meno 15 come I miei scudetti, Juve rabbia vera. It's Capello that is speaking about the punishment of Juve with the minus 50 points. He's saying, yes, the minus 15 are like me, like when they took away from me the 2 scudetti that I won, because what you win on the field is what you have, and it can only bring you anger. So I understand the frustration of Juventus. I can understand the anger for people like Max Allegri and the players that did everything on the field to do the best they could. Well, yesterday there was a question to Max Allegri asking him if with the minus 15 points remaining, if you are qualifying to the top 4, is it like winning a Scudetto? Max exaggerated, of course, saying it will not be like 1 but like 3. And I can kind of understand it. Of course, you can't compare 3 Scudetti with a qualification in Champions League, but the miracle that it would be to qualify could be fantastic. And it starts today with winning versus Roma. You're only at -9 from the top 4, with a lot of teams ahead of you, but still the dream can be possible. I finish with the last news, guys, a really last news, a brief one about Kenan Yildiz that a lot of people are speaking about because you saw him training with the first team. A lot of people are saying, Beppe, we want to see Kenan Yildiz in the first team. Calma, calma. But the family, the entourage of Kenan Yildiz said if the project is not changing, he can be a Juve player for many, many years. Beautiful news to close the video today. Later today, I will try to give you again a FIFA commentary about the game, simulation, and then we see each other for today. There will be a watch along, so be there, watch along on this channel and post game. Grazie, forza, Juve.